Okay, so here is the second part of Friday's assignment. So like I said, there's part one, which is the time conversions, just showing you how to set these up. And now these are some real conversions that you'd actually do in a chemistry class and not the time ones. So these are moles to atoms conversions. So all semester long, y'all have asked me, why do I like moles so much? Why are there moles all over this classroom? On my doors, little stuffed ones up here on the ledge. This little guy, right? So those are not for just because I like the animal, because I really don't. I think they're pretty gross. But in chemistry, we have a unit that is called moles. And it's actually a really useful unit. And if you go any further in chemistry, you'll use it a ton. And we would typically use it for a few weeks. But obviously, we got a little, off schedule here. The conversion factor up here is in this red box. These are different because you have the exact same conversion factor for every one of these problems. It says 1 mole, and they abbreviate the word like moles with an E to just MOL. I know it's not much of an abbreviation, but that's what they do. I don't make the rules. Then you have it's equal to 6.02 times 10 to the 23 atoms. There's so much more we could say about that, and if we were in class, we would talk about it more, do all kinds of extra side problems, but just know that this is a really useful number. It has a special name called Avogadro's number, and it's great. I'm sure you'll learn more about it if you go any further in chemistry. We don't have time in this short little YouTube to cover all that. So here's the problems that we're going to do. We're just going to stick to going to moles to atoms or atoms to moles, like we can reverse it. For numbers 1 through 5 on the second assignment for Friday, this is how you'll do those. You'll be starting with moles and going to atoms. So you're using this big conversion factor up here in the red. This times 10 to the 23, you need to figure out how to enter it on your calculator, and every calculator is different. The most useful button to do it with is an E button. Right here I have it written, says EE, kind of sloppily, if that's a word. But right there is the EE button, okay? So that is basically a times 10 button. So that way you don't have to push like times 10 to the 23rd power, okay? If you'll find an E or an EE button, that should do it for you. I think actually it needs to be 2 E's. That will do it for you. It takes out the times 10 part. So if I have 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd power, we're gonna do 6.02. This E button takes out the times 10, and then all you'll do is 23, okay? So then you hit equals, and it's just gonna pop it up like that. It might pop it up without that little times 10, and that's fine. If it says just 6.02 with the little 23, you just need to remember that there is a times 10 there, but our calculators are not big enough to show us all those zeros. Now I know most of you are probably on your phone, so I will attach a little screen video of how to do it on your phone. I know if you have an iPhone, you just turn your phone sideways to like offer more functions on your calculator, and there's an EE button there. And any smartphone like calculator should have an EE button on there. So I'll put a little screen video of that to help you find it if you need to. So convert 5 moles, MOL, of carbon to atoms of carbon. Don't worry about the carbon or whatever element I put in there, like it really doesn't matter. So I'm gonna mark it out just so we don't get distracted. But I mean, it's just, we're doing it for an element, not just for nothing. But for solving it, we don't need it. So convert 5 moles to atoms. You're gonna set up the exact same way as those time conversions. Every single time in the conversion problem, you're gonna do the same process. In the time conversions, we always put what I start with in the question, like what I give you to convert, in this top left box, and we'll do the same here. Convert 5 moles, we're gonna put 5 moles right here. We are still leaving this blank, and you have detailed notes for that in the time conversions of like where we put stuff. We're still leaving that blank. And then you are still putting your conversion factor on your fence like this, except now we're not putting like minutes and hours, we're putting moles and atoms. But you want to set it up the exact same way, where if we have moles here, we want to match those diagonally and put moles on the bottom. That's the only way it lets us cancel things out. So if I know moles needs to go on the bottom, you're going to go up here to this big conversion factor, and you're going to find the side of it, it's the side of the equal sign that has the word mole. That's atoms, that's mole, so it's gonna be this side. So you wanna take this side, the 1 mole, and put it right here. okay? And then whatever is left on the other side of the equal sign is here, gonna go on the top. So 6.02 times 10 to the 23 atoms, okay? So then that's it, okay? As long as you have it set up to where moles is diagonal here and atoms is on the top, you're pretty good, you're ready to go. We're still solving this the exact same way, and I wrote it on the notes that I'll post for this, which is we always take this number, we multiply by the top number, we divide by the bottom number. But always multiply by top, divide by bottom. So the thing is, you have to put it in the calculator the right way, which is where that EE button comes in. So here's what you'll actually like punch in the calculator. 5 times the 6.02 number, I'm gonna put EE instead of times 10 and 23, okay? 6.02 EE 23. We're doing 5 times the top, divide by the bottom. So like you're gonna divide by 1, but we all know that that doesn't really matter. Like it's not gonna change anything, so you can skip it if you want to. So I'm gonna use calculator because I can't video and screen record on my phone. So I'm gonna do 5 up here times the top, so times 6.02 E23, and then divide by the bottom. So it's equals to that. Divide by 1 if you want, or you can skip it. Your calculator might say something like this. I think on a phone, it might say a little different. So mine says 3.01 times 10 to the 24. I think maybe your phone might say 3.01 E24. Some calculators will say 3.01 with a little 24. Any of those answers is fine, okay? We're not in class to where we can work on this and correct it at all times. You're on your own. So if you get something close to this, like you're good, you're solid. At the end, you want to write your units down, and it's gonna be whatever's in the top right, just like last time. Moles cancels out because it's diagonal, so atoms is what we are left in. So it's any one of those answers and atoms. This is for number 1 through 5 of the second assignment. So it's getting to be like 7 minutes. I'll probably just cancel this or close this video out, and then I'll make another one for how to do 6 through 10 for Friday's work.